He made it fourth.
I figured that tilted him up just a little bit.
4,000.
Tony's actually doing a bit of advertising for Andy here, saying he's got him on tilt. That's the only reason he's raising 4,000. Brian Townsend decides to call this. It's these two to the flop.
A drink always.
Kings versus Queen Jack.
Celebrate.
4, 6, 8.
Nice flop for Andy Block. Nothing much for Brian here.
6,000.
Now you might say it's a nice flop for Brian Townsend. Not going to get him in trouble. That is true. 6,000 bet from Andy Block takes this one down.
The greatest aspect of poker is that there is no optimal strategy, which means that you have to always adapt your play to the people that are sitting at the table when you're playing against. When you have more than one opponent, there's no fixed computer way to play. You have to always figure out how your opponents are going to play and how to react against them. And that makes it a great game because it's still a mathematical game, but it's also a psychological game. And you have to win that psychological war.
Patrick Antonius. I think that's a limp in first position from Patrick, mixing it up a little bit with his ace-king. Gets Andy Block on the button with his jack-10 of clubs. But we saw yesterday Patrick Antonius limped in with kings. Sometimes he will limp in first position with a pretty big hand.
The most viewed.
Does like to mix his game up a bit, Patrick. Very unpredictable. Flop comes out Queen 9-4. Now this is the only trap where if you limp in with ace-king, you don't get the raise there. You just don't want to lose money when you miss the flop. Well, there's a couple of hands could be interested in this pot. There's a 10-jack. There's a Queen 10. And that has brought a flush draw as well for Andy Block. So he's got a big draw at the moment, but Chris Ferguson's leading with his Queen.
2,500.
Now, Andy Block's draw here, is it big enough to actually put a big raise in there? He's open-ended with the flush draw. You can think of all the cards that help him here. Any 8, any king, or any club, and he's got this pot. Action is on Phil Ivey, though. He's going to fold. Patrick Antonius is going to fold.
2,500 on you.
Apparently Ivy is still in the hand, but Patrick Antonius is folded out of position.
2,500 call.
Just a flat call from Andy.
Last card. 7.
7 of spades means he's missed. Wonder if we'll see a check from Chris and maybe another attempt at a steal from Andy Block. I think this would be a great spot for Chris Ferguson to check it here, induce the bluff, and then of course you're going to call. Andy's already been caught once with that trick. He decides not to fall forward again, and Chris is going to take this one down with top pair.
Fair queen swing.
Andy Block wondering, left wondering there, what went wrong? And Chris Ferguson stacking the chips again. Here we are with the ranking of the hands. First we have high card. In this case, a king high would win it. Then we have one pair. In this case, pair of aces. Then 2 pair. Jacks and 9s will do it. Then 3 of a kind. We have the same one. 3 4s. Then we have a straight. 5 cards in order, not the same suit. Then a flush. 5 cards, the same suit. 5 hearts will do it. Then we have a full house. 3 7s, 2 kings. This would be 7s full of kings. 4 of a kind. 4 kings. Then we have a straight flush. 5 cards in order, all the same suit. And here's the most beautiful hand in the world. Royal flush. 10, 2 ace, all the same suit.
You almost got me to lay my hand down because I thought I only had one.
Buttons in front of Phil Ivey. Those are Howard Lederer's cards. Queen 9 suited. Queen 9 suited is gold for some of the players at this table, but it's fool's gold for Howard Lederer. Could be a big hand for Phil Ivey. Jack 9's offsuit's enough for him to raise on the button. 2,000 called by Patrick Antonius.
2,000 called.
These two hands could find a number of flops, and a 7 on it wouldn't be too bad either for Brian Townsend. Here's a flop here. King Jack 8. Well, now all three players have got a pair. Ivy in the lead here with second pair. Patrick Antonius with third pair, and obviously Brian Townsend is under pair. They've all checked. The 3 on the turn doesn't improve anyone's hand, although it does bring a flush draw for Patrick Antonius. A lot of cards can help Antonius now. An 8, a 10, or a spade.
What do you do? What do you do if like you're way down a night?
About 5,000 from here from Phil.
You're going to have like a quarter of the field that's just going to feel like...
I think there's a chance that Patrick could raise this. With the check on the flop, he's really disguised his jack. But no, he's decided to flat call. He's got a pair and a flush draw. Doesn't want to price himself out of it if Phil were to re-raise.
Last help.
You know, I'm going to think of a good idea. I can't think of it.
King.
It's just tip.
King changes nothing. And at this point, Ivy's got to know he's good. Just a question of does he put in a value bet? Or does he maybe check and induce a bluff? Well, he's on the button, so checking wouldn't be, wouldn't induce the bluff.
But it's not whoever has, you know, the enemy can have
10,000.
everyone has points.
Tips.